In this training, I'm going to go into in a little more detail the custom template creation and how you can edit and leverage these templates to get the type of outputs that you are looking for. So in this training, we are going to be using ChatGPT to assist in developing these templates. You can, of course, write these all out by hand, but by using ChatGPT, you can streamline the process a little bit more, as well as leverage the algorithm, the AI itself, in kind of structuring these in a way where we can ensure that your prompts communicate to the AI and get the result back we're looking for. So in this example, I'm going to be walking you through essentially first training ChatGPT, GPT-4 on the regular setting is perfectly fine. You can integrate some other plugins and things if you want to get creative, but we're just going to use the standard one and start off by letting it know we want it to help us write prompts for content generation. We're going to give it some directions. We want it to follow along and understand before we get started. And it says, okay, it's going to wait for us to get started. So we're first going to tell it that we're going to provide an example. We want it to read through the example and understand the structure of this prompt first. So I'm going to give it a very basic one that we already had built as just a very basic example. And essentially, it has our system prompt, then it has our user prompt, and then it has the assistant that we went over in the other video, and then the final user template that we use to create the custom template. So if you didn't watch that video already, go back and watch that. You'll understand what's going on here a little bit more. So it starts off, it understands the format. It's looking, you'd like a template prompt to construct GPT and generate content similar to the GBP post example you provided. And that's great. So now we want it to understand. I actually have some more information here, and we're just going to put this so it understands what the system provides context, a context for the role of the assistant, user. So we're going to give it that so it understands what those different baselines are. And then we're going to, okay, so it looks like it's giving us another example here, restaurant review. Oh, it already started. So let's do understand. We don't want it to actually start generating the prompt yet. If it starts doing that, do not start yet. There we go. Now, let's tell it this last part. Not yet, because it asked us if we were ready to proceed. Now we want to let it know about these placeholders that we use so that we can dynamically populate this in the last user prompt. All right. So now let's say, for example, let's just do the GBP. That was what, the GBP post one. Okay, so say we want to do a Facebook post. Okay, let's get started. Create one for a Facebook post. And then I think I put this in here. Remember to use the info, use real info in the first user prompt, and variables only in the last user prompt, because it was giving me some mix up before. And if you get things that don't come out right, you can always go back and kind of edit these and make sure it kind of learns it and does it. So essentially now it's going to create one of these for the Facebook post. So it gives us our system prompt, then the user prompt, then the assistant, and it's generating the Facebook post for this Ocean Breeze Cafe, and it has a description and location. And then it finally gives us our final user output here, which has the name, city, state, description, and industry. So if we go back over to our dashboard and we go over to the custom template content types. And for this one, we'll just create a new one and let's do Facebook post. And we'll use GPT-4 as our model. And the system is this, user is this, assistant is this, and the user is this. Now, first of all, we see that it has a phone number and website, right? This is a Facebook post, so maybe we want to dynamically put the phone number and website in here, but then also have the short codes in here. So what we want to do is instruct ChatGPT on how to make these edits to the assistant and then ask it to update the rest of the prompt to reflect those edits. So update the assistant output, remove hashtags, and we want the emojis, include the actual phone number and website. And let's see if there's anything else. Say we want it to be closer to 300 words. Make it 300 words or more. And then let's go to the next line and say update the rest of the the system and user prompts accordingly to reflect the assistant output changes. So the reason I like doing this especially is because we're asking the AI to update the output and then having it write the prompts that would get it to make that output. So specifically, if you're struggling to get something like 300 words long, this will kind of give us a way to kind of train it to do that a little better. So here we go. You see it's updated the system, the user. We now have the phone number and the website in here. And it looks like it's writing the content. What do we put? 300 words. And let me just go get a word counter, little word counter page up here. And let's go ahead and see how many words this actually is. 268. So not exactly 300. Maybe we want over 300 words. So what we can do is, and we see here it actually added the phone number and the website shortcode in the final user prompt as well. But let's address the fact that we want this to be over 300 words, and we want it to be consistently over 300 words, right? And just make it at least 300 words, or you write it with at least 300 words, that generally doesn't give the AI enough context to understand what that means. So what we need to do is create multiple prompts like this as examples to get that output. So for this example here, I'm just going to go ahead and throw these in here. So we have the system, then we have the user, then we have the assistant, and then we're going to add the final user prompt. And this has our short codes in it. Now these name, city, state, description, industry, those are all built in currently. I believe we're going to have these others added, but for this example, we don't have these currently in the system under the location information. So we will have to enter these in. So I'm going to put a colon and then type in single, which means it's just a single line field that we're going to enter in with this information. And we'll go ahead and click submit. So if I go over to my locations and let's just open up Mr. Plumber and let's go find down here underneath content templates. If I click show, you'll see Facebook post. And then here's our Facebook post. So I'm just going to put 5555 is our phone number, and omnidigital.com isn't our website, but we'll use that. And then we'll go ahead and click generate. So with just that base prompt, and then minor edits, so what we get back now should be closer to 300 words, probably not more over like we originally wanted. Our example did not have the emojis. It took out the emojis, so it's probably not going to have emojis. And we told it to not use the hashtags and things like that, so it probably won't have the hashtags. So here we are. Oh, it did put in the emoji. So it obviously didn't specifically state, I'm guessing, in our prompt not to use emojis. Okay, no, it did not. So it's probably just doing that on its own. We could make a statement and say if we did not want emojis, for example, to specify that. Let's go in here though and just put update the assistant with relevant emojis. Engage the reader. Make the content more. Yeah, let's just do emojis that engage the reader. Update the rest of the users. I cannot type it all right now. Used. Okay, whatever. It's gonna know what I mean. I don't need to fix my typing anymore. All right, so it's going to go ahead and retype this. It should put in the user prompt here, I would guess, about using emojis. Okay, no. Oh, there it is. Facebook post with emojis for my business post. And then it's going to add the example emojis in here. And now if we copy this example over, we should have more consistency with the emojis, but we want to get the word length longer. So let's actually open up another chat here, and let's go down here, and we're going to copy this. With our emojis, this might be a higher word count. Oh, no, it's actually less words. Okay, so we're going to say increase this business description by 200 words. We'll say 200. Okay. And now let's go back over to here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have updated prompts for all this stuff. And if we go to content types, back to Facebook post. Okay, so we have the system training. I just want to make sure that all is updated. We have the user training, and now we're updating this. So it looks like it didn't put this title in here. Maybe we want the title. And then let's jump back over here. This is the content it gave us back. Let's check the word count. 272. I wonder if these emojis are screwing it up, or if it's counting characters, or no, it doesn't look like it. Okay, two additional 100 words. Okay, so, and again, if you've already written these for your clients, you've already done that. I would actually suggest doing that more than just having AI write this. I'm doing this for an example, and also show you how you can kind of streamline this process. So this is 390. So let's jump over here now. We'll put this in here. And now up here, we're going to put this at 400 words. Craft a Facebook post with a Facebook post, 400 words long, with emojis for my business. Okay. And then we got the prompt down here. So what we want to do now is, let's come back over here and say, make one with a personal injury attorney as the example. And now it's going to make one with a personal injury attorney as an example. So again, if you have previous work, previous clients, get personal injury attorney one, get the best one from your roofer, get the best examples of perfect posts you have. You can even give that directly to ChatGPT and say, describe how this post is written, and kind of use that in the prompt generation. So I don't want to show every possible thing. We could be here all day, but I want to get to the main point. So now it's going to generate this content here. This probably won't be 400 word or 300 words would be my guess, because it's still using kind of the same prompts. Okay, so it added that at the bottom. Let's go check this here. Throw it in the word counter, 234 words. So let's come back up here. We're just going to say 350. Hopefully it adds the rest. And again, we're just making this longer content as an example. And I'm doing this specifically in ChatGPT again, so I can streamline this and get it done quickly so you can understand how this works. So now that we have multiple examples, this one is still writing this, but let's scroll back up here. We have this user request, and I'm going to copy that. We're going to add another one of these. I'm going to put it right here. Let's remove this. So we added, let's get rid of that. So we're adding another user request with the Justice Advocates example. And we want to make sure we put this in there because we did add that as part of the prompt. So Facebook post, 400 words long with emojis. And then we'll come back down. Let's do another assistant. And let's come on over here. Got a nice and long post. Let's see how many words this is. 362. So let's throw that in there. That's another good example of a nice long Facebook post. And then finally, we have the user prompt here. All right, so we got all of our examples. Let's go ahead and click update. So now when we go back over to our locations, let's go to Mr. Plumber, and the previous one we generated was this one, which I think was 276. Now that it has some examples over 300 words and we're saying to generate more, I'm hoping this would be over 300. We might need more examples. We might need to use some more prompt refinement, but let's go ahead and give it a try. So let's go to Mr. Plumber now, go to the custom templates, Facebook post. Let's just do our made up phone number and omni.com and generate it. And let's take a look at what the output. It should definitely have emojis. We've specified that. I would assume it should have multiple paragraphs. It was like that in the examples. Maybe even a heading at the bottom because one of the examples had that as well. The assistant is what is going to allow you to train it on what those finer points actually look like. So if you say you wanted to add a keyword X percentage of times to a piece of content, if you actually show it what a piece of content looks like when it's being given it, and what the output looks like when it adds that percentage of content to it, you will get that more consistent output. So it does look like it's much longer already, 397. So now we're much closer to that consistency with the over 300, 300 to 400 words. And we have our emojis that are built into it. And we can go through and edit this many different ways now. If I wanted to go back over here and say we wanted to go back to the beginning, what I would do is scroll back up now that you have this chat kind of created, right? Go back up to right where you started. Let's create one for Facebook posts. And let's say we want to do, let's do 10 unique local business descriptions. And now generally it should give us, like it did before, it's going to give us our system, our user, create the 10 business descriptions, our examples, and now it's going to give us the business descriptions like this. And we'll go through the same process, right? We don't want the emojis probably. We don't need the name of the business in front of each description. So we can go back and say, remove the emojis, make sure emojis aren't given in the description. Do not put the business name colon at the front of each description. That's unnecessary. And then update the final prompts as needed. And then you're going to have to go back and expand on these descriptions because this is probably not even close if you want like 150 words. So we can also just say, so remove emojis, business name. How long was that? 21. So, and that should give us most of the updates we probably need. You might want to go back and rewrite or expand the business descriptions individually. But again, now that it's giving us these longer descriptions, maybe this one here, it's probably still not enough words because it's probably only like 100, 80 or 100. So again, go back, we can have it write them longer and longer and longer. And if we go to, for example, we have our locations. If we go to plumber, we actually have a citation descriptions right here, which we made a pre-built template. But again, if you wanted something custom where you wanted to specifically use words, not specifically use words, wanted to make this citation description specifically for attorneys so you don't have to specify what words to use, not use, you want to give it 20 different assistant prompts so it knows exactly how those posts and things should be written every single time. You can train it with those assistant prompts and get the outputs you're looking for. So I believe we do have, if I don't get a bigger output on these 10 business descriptions, I think there should be about 150 words each. But let's go ahead and take a look. Alrighty. So they look like they may be a little shorter, so we might want to go back and refine it. Yeah. So we can go back and refine this, make these longer. I'm probably going to go do that now. So when you actually try this, we should get longer outputs. But that's the whole point. If you want it to consistently give you longer outputs, especially with word count, people will say, I say 100 words, I say 300 words. It doesn't seem to get me the correct number of words. If you give it the example of what the correct number of words look like in the output, it's going to understand that more in conjunction with the prompts that you're giving it. So that's it for the custom template training.